Hi Rubies, hope you're well today. Thank you for checking out today's video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Hannah Ruby. I do new videos on this channel every Sunday. In addition to this channel, I do have a lifestyle / beauty channel and a gaming channel, which you can check out in the description below. So, on to today's video. Today I thought I could have a chat about some of my top musical influences. I would love to hear yours as well in the description below. So, I think this is the video that's going out the day my giveaway closes. I just wanted to remind you all I have a giveaway going on my Facebook at the moment. It closes actually today at 6 PM, so if you're interested, get in there quickly. All you have to do is free, it's just you have to kind of go onto your Facebook page, make sure you've liked or followed my Facebook page, and give the post a comment or a share. I'll link it in the description below if you want to check it out. I'm really happy with all the stuff I've chosen to give away. It's all kind of based around a theme of like well-being and like positivity, so I'm really happy with it. So check it out if you're interested. So right, let's get on with the video. I would like to do kind of a few more of these kind of chatty videos just to kind of break up some of the cover videos or the original song things, just to, you know, do some other stuff. So let me know what you think. It's probably I probably look very ghostly because the lighting's been really hard to get right. I am going to just adjust it a little bit and see if I can get it any better. I'm not sure that's much better, but sorry, I've tried. Okay, so these aren't really in any order apart from number 1, which I'll start with because these 100% are the top. And okay, so what I'll start with saying is before I get into them is that, so I've got my phone because I've got all my notes on here of everything I want to say about everybody. What I'll say about all of these is before I get into them all is they're all unapologetically authentic in their sound and their musical style. So yeah, I think authenticity is really, really important to me in kind of, well, everything to be honest, but music as well. I did just want to add on to this video. I got so caught up in thinking about all of the artists that you watching would have heard of. I forgot to include some others as well. So closer to me at home. So I've got 2 extra ones to mention. One of my biggest musical influences is my dad. He is an absolutely fantastic musician. He taught me guitar. And many of the artists you'll have heard on this list I know through my dad or my mum. So yeah, he's given me a fantastic musical appreciation, and yeah, I just can't thank him enough. I've learnt loads from my dad. And my other musical influence is my godmother, Rosie. She is a fantastic singer, and she's just brilliant. I've always loved singing with her, and she's one of the reasons that I wanted to sing myself. So I just wanted to add those in as well because they are super important. Number 1 is the Beatles. So it's probably no surprise to anyone that knows me. These guys are probably the kind of the first musicians that had like a deep impact on me that I can remember. I just remember like I was absolutely obsessed with their music, their videos, and they're like A Hard Day's Night was my favourite film for such a long time. And I remember when I was in primary school, I loved A Hard Day's Night so much. I used to do a horse riding club, and I used to, on our way to horse riding, I used to teach everyone how to sing A Hard Day's Night, and I'd get the whole bus singing A Hard Day's Night. So that's quite a fond memory for me. They define an era, and many musicians we know today, they might not even be around or even be the same if it wasn't for the Beatles, because a lot of people say the Beatles are their influence. They also reshaped themselves successfully several times. It kind of reinvented their sound and their image. Sgt. Pepper, the early years, you know, all of that stuff, the White Album, Abbey Road, but they were still true to themselves and the music they wanted to make. So yeah, I love the Beatles. I think they are fantastic. They have some absolutely amazing songs and they're just brilliant. So I thought I'd also choose some of my favourite songs. Really, really hard to do with the Beatles because I have so many I love, but I've gone for In My Life. That's probably my top one. We Can Work It Out, and I Should Have Known Better. And I'm going to chuck in Eleanor Rigby as well, because I really like that one too. Okay, so number 2, I've got Queen. It took me a really long time to get into Queen, actually, because, right, this sounds really daft, really daft, you're going to laugh at me. When I first watched the Bohemian Rhapsody video, I think I was about 13 or 12, 13, something like that, and it freaked me out. I don't know why. You know that bit at the beginning with them like they're silhouetted and with the big hair? It just freaked me out. I don't know why, it just did, it scared me. And I didn't actually give them a chance, it was just because I was freaked out by the video for some odd reason. I don't know. But I started to get into them later on, and I was like, oh my gosh, what have I been missing? These are brilliant, and they are genuinely within my top 3 now. Probably they're top 2 actually, to be honest, Beatles and Queen. Freddie is just fantastic, isn't he, with his powerful vocals, his stage presence, his songwriting, oh my gosh. Each member of the band has something to add. They each kind of wrote a hit song of their own within the band. It's amazing about Brian May, the guitar he built with his dad that he still uses, like, that's crazy, amazing. Bohemian Rhapsody, they weren't afraid to release a long song, and do kind of all sorts of crazy things with it, with the operatic section and all of that. And they were just, yeah, they were just fantastic. They were authentic, they were bold, they did things their way. I just love them, to be honest. And my favourite songs I've chosen is Doing Alright, Keep Yourself Alive, and Killer Queen. So, number 3 is David Bowie, or Bowie, however you want to say it. Again, he is very true to himself and not afraid to keep changing his image up in a way that was right for him to keep it fresh and interesting. Bowie's one I've known about for a very long time because he's one of my dad's favourites, so I've always really loved Bowie. So I think as well it's the fact that as a solo artist he was able to do so much, because being a solo artist myself, it's just really inspiring. I really enjoyed hearing about his songwriting method, which is the cut-up method, where he would have loads of different lyrics, he'd cut them up and he would choose, I think he picked them out of a hat or something, which I thought was pretty good. If you look on YouTube, I think there's actually a video of him showing off this method somewhere. I loved him in Labyrinth as well, the film, as the Goblin King. And fun fact, I technically went to his gig. My mum was actually pregnant with me when he came to Exeter, so my mum and my dad went to see Bowie, so technically I was there, I think November 1995, something like that. God, it's such a shame, there's hardly any, like, big artists now that come to Exeter. I mean, actually really, like, most of the southwest, to be honest. They don't come much further than Bristol, to be honest. So my favourite songs for Bowie is number 1 is Ziggy Stardust. That's my favourite. I love that one. I've actually done a cover of that one on here, and I did the little lightning bolt makeup. So if you want to check that out, and actually I'll link it up here if you want to watch it. I was quite proud of that one. Life on Mars and Oh You Pretty Things. So yeah, those are my probably my top 3 actually, I would probably say. Now we're moving into the more recent domain. So hands down, the most modern artist that inspires me is Ed Sheeran. Like, really, really, truly. I mean, I always aspire to be more like Ed Sheeran. Like, he's kind of like my benchmark of like, is my attitude up there, am I working as hard as Ed Sheeran? Like, in terms of my attitude, I always want to be more like him. He seems to be such a hard-working guy, and something he said in a documentary which really resonated with me, and he was said, I think he was talking about Neil Diamond, or Neil Young, it was one of the Neils, and he said that he wanted to get, it was like one of them was renowned for really hard work, and he wanted their diary so then he could double what they were doing, so he could work even harder, and that just resonated with me. So my thing is like, right, I need to be as hard-working as Ed Sheeran. His story of just not giving up, and he kept plugging away, doing gig after gig, going after opportunities. He even went to LA when he knew no one there, which is insane. I wish I had the courage to do something like that, and my goodness. Even, he came here to Exeter, and apparently it's the worst gig of his life, and then you fast forward to now, and he was seen leaving Exeter, boarding his private jet, and it it just shows you who you are now doesn't define who you will be. You don't have to let things now define who you're going to be, you know? And you just need to have passion, put in the work, and have the staying power, and you can achieve your dreams. It's just really inspiring to me. So that Exeter gig, I thought I could just chat about it. It's a fun little fact. He went to the empty gig, and it resulted in him in missing his train home, because he kept pushing the gig further and further back, waiting for someone to turn up. And he eventually missed his train. He had to sleep at the train station overnight, and he just said it was like one of the worst gigs ever. He lost money on it, and you think now he's just sold out stadium tours. So hard work and never giving up, I take from Ed Sheeran. So my favourite songs is Galway Girl, Icy Fire and Castle on the Hill. So yeah, sorry, I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. Next up I've got Taylor Swift. I love how determined she is, also that she's a successful woman in music, and she often talks about the struggle she faces from others because of that. But she's a fighter and is always prepared to stand up for herself and her success, which is really inspirational. I really think the way she's adapted her style constantly will stay authentic and relevant is to be applauded. I can't think of many people quite on the same level with Taylor Swift that are just so good at just reinventing, but like authentically reinventing. I mean, each album she comes out with, it's like a new style and a new sound, and all of her marketing matches that, and I just think it's incredible, to be honest. Yeah, each album she releases, it's always going to be a new era and like a fresh thing. So she also went from her guitar, just her and her guitar, like on doing gigs, to big shows and stadiums with lights and dancers, which is totally inspiring to me because I would love to do something like that. And those are my favourite songs. I've got Look What You Made Me Do, The Man, Invisible String and London Boy. I'm going to go a bit faster because my video keeps cutting off because I'm talking too much. Next up I've got Michael Jackson. I actually didn't get into his music until he died, actually. I remember my dad showed me the Thriller video when it came on the news he died, because I hadn't seen it, and he was like, oh my gosh, what? You haven't seen it? Right, you're going to watch it. And I remember going, thinking, oh gosh, it's like so long. And then I got so into it, I was like, oh my gosh, all this music I've been missing. I mean, obviously I'd have heard of him when I was younger. I would have heard of Beat It, Billie Jean, all of that stuff. But I'm saying, like, when I properly got into his music, some of the best music around, and it's just very instantly recognisable. From his days in Jackson 5 into his solo career, he always worked really hard, and was always dedicated to music. He put on amazing, captivating shows, which is great to learn from. His songs are so catchy, and there's so many that people just everyone knows. And I really think it's great to kind of look at and analyse, like, how he did what he did so well. And is there anything kind of I can learn from it to incorporate into my own, like, songs? Not like, I'm not saying do what he does, but like, is there anything I can learn from, okay, maybe he gets to the chorus by this time, or maybe he uses these kind of chords, or, you know, there's stuff you can like learn, kind of model how kind of people were so successful with their music. So my favourite song, I've got They Don't Care About Us, Beat It and Thriller. Gosh, I've got quite a few of my most inspirational artists. Next up I've got Charlie Puth. He's another quite modern one. Again, he's a solo artist, but he also is his own songwriter and producer, which is what I'm doing, so that's really inspiring to me. His songs are just fantastically produced, and I love to listen to them and kind of analyse what he does. And I've noticed this a lot more when I listen to songs now, is that I am listening more for the production and how they're doing stuff, which is something I didn't really listen to before, so that's really great. It's also great to see that it can be done, and like what I'm doing, if I carry on, like, I could be as big as Charlie Puth. Like, that's kind of how it makes me feel. I think, yes, it's inspiring. You could be your own musician, songwriter and producer, and, you know, it can be done. And my favourite song I've chosen for him is Attention. I just think that's such a great, that song is just so well produced. Like, hands down, favourite song. Then I've got Pink, another very inspirational woman in music. I loved Pink's CDs from a young age. I used to have her CDs. And I love the fact that she's fearless. Again, she's unapologetically herself and puts on these incredible shows. Which, again, I've only ever seen from YouTube. I've never seen any of these musicians live, but I've seen a lot of their shows on YouTube. And I put favourite song, Split Personality and So What. Split Personality is not a very known one. It's one that she did ages ago, but it's one I used to have on my old CDs, which I loved. I used to listen to it all the time, and there you go, that was a good one too. Okay, so then I've got Elvis. Elvis is like the Beatles. He just defined a whole new era, and although he didn't write his own songs, which to be honest, I do love it when musicians write their own songs, the rest of them on this list did, I absolutely love the songs, the way he delivers them, and it makes you feel like they are his, you know. He makes you feel like he did write them, which is a mark of a really good singer or musician, because they make you feel it, you know, feel the song. Elvis was just so captivating from his shows, and even in interviews, he's just captivating, to be honest. I've always loved Elvis' stuff, and for his songs I've got Return to Sender, that's my top one, Heartbreak Hotel, Blue Suede Shoes, and I also loved his cover of the Beatles' Something. If you haven't heard that, go check it out, it's really good. And Bridge Over Troubled Water. Now the thing is with his cover of Something, actually, I don't think he might have performed it on stage, but the one I watched, it was just him messing around in a recording studio, and it was just still so mesmerising, you know. And then last up on my list I've got Amy Winehouse. I've got really into her music again recently, and she was one I used to really enjoy, but yeah, I just kind of got back into her music recently. Another fantastic singer-songwriter and a musician who's unfortunately gone too soon. I love her style. You can hear how much the songs mean to her when she sings them. Very, very soulful. And my favourites are Tears Dry on Their Own as number one, Back to Black, Rehab, You Know I'm No Good. And now that is all of my top inspirational musical influences. I hope you enjoy. I'd love to know yours. Do we share any of these? Any on my list or on your list? I'd love to know. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Don't forget about that giveaway. Be quick though today because it closes at 6. And yeah, I'll see you later. Bye, Rubies!